At the beginning of chapter 4, Much Afraid is finally beginning her journey to the high places with the chief shepherd. And she is overjoyed to finally make it to that point. They're walking through a field of wildflowers, and Much Afraid comments on how she has often wondered why some things so beautiful as wildflowers would be in places that people may not see them, that they'd be hidden. And the chief shepherd uses it as first of many teaching moments that Much Afraid will experience on this journey. So the chief shepherd shares with her that nothing he and his father have created is wasted, and that the greatest victory that humans accomplish is in the secret. And then they continue walking, and a rushing river can be heard. And as they walk by, Much Afraid is about to ask, or she does ask, what the water is singing. She can tell it's a song, but she doesn't understand the language. And then right after she asks it, it's like her ears are tuning in to the words, and she's able to understand it for the first time. And she learns that what the river is singing about is the joy of going low, and even lower still. And so Much Afraid asks the chief shepherd about this because her whole goal right now, and the chief shepherd's goal with her, is to bring her to the high places. So she's confused why the water would be singing about the joy of going low. Seems like the opposite of what she feels like the chief shepherd would want. And the chief shepherd explains to Much Afraid that the purpose of going to the high places is to be equipped and able to come back down to the low places in joy and love, and to care for those in the low places, and then to be able to go back up. And as he finishes explaining that, the chief shepherd then explains to her that the reason why she's able to hear and to understand what the water is singing is because of the seed of love planted in her heart. As they continue walking, Much Afraid asks the chief shepherd why he can't be the one to bring her all the way up to the high places, and why he has chosen companions to guide her instead. And the chief shepherd explains that he could bring her at this moment, he could bring her up there. But if he did that, she wouldn't be able to develop Hinds Feet. And the seed of love that he planted in her heart, it's still just a tiny seed, and it hasn't had time to bloom. So she wouldn't be allowed into the kingdom of love, because only those made perfect in love are able to enter the kingdom of love. So any place that Much Afraid would go, her enemies could also go. She actually wouldn't be escaping them. And she wouldn't be able to then follow the chief shepherd, going back down and serving with him, which is her goal as well. And at the end of the chapter, Much Afraid meets the companions that the chief shepherd has chosen for her. And she is terrified when she finds out that the companions are sorrow and suffering. And she asks the chief shepherd right away, why? Why couldn't it be joy and peace? Why sorrow and suffering? Kind of asking, like, this is supposed to be hard enough. Like, why would you make it harder by adding sorrow and suffering as my companions? But the chief shepherd simply asks her if she trusts him to choose the best companions for her. And she thought about turning back, but decided that she would trust him and would travel with those companions that he had chosen. And the chief shepherd promises her it's not that he's never with her, that he will be with her the whole way, but he won't always be visible to her, yet that he would be able to be there at any moment if she needs help and calls to him. And so that is where we leave off at the end of chapter 4. Well, there is a lot of things that happen in this chapter at the beginning of the journey. The first thing I wanted to mention was when the chief shepherd says to Much Afraid that the greatest victories that humans have are those in secret. And it was actually just recently, as I was reading through this again, that I realized this is really setting Much Afraid up for this whole journey that really is a secret journey, for Much Afraid with her and the chief shepherd. Yeah, her enemies are seeing some of it, and then her companions are there, but on the large scale of things, it's the hardest thing that she's doing. But really, only the chief shepherd knows what she is fighting against and what it takes to overcome. So that stood out to me this time, of that being like the first thing that he's explaining to her. Then the next thing is the river song, which is one of my favorite parts of the whole book. And the fact that Much Afraid could not understand it and then started being able to hear the language and the words, and that the chief shepherd explained to her that it was because of the seed of love he planted in her heart. I think the seed of heart is really the Holy Spirit in Much Afraid. It prompts her, it helps her to understand, and the great shepherd shared that as the seed of love grows in her heart, her understanding will grow as well. So as you read through the rest of the story, see what you think about it, but that's interesting to keep in mind. And then the conversation that Much Afraid had with the shepherd about why he has to provide guides for her, why he can't just take her up the mountain himself. And, I love the fact that he does say he could bring her up there right now. But explaining that it would defeat the whole purpose of the reason for taking that journey, that the healing process, that the perfecting through love process only happens through the journey, not through him just taking her up there. And, if we think about that in all that the journey encompasses for her, it's a reminder that, her interactions with sorrow and suffering, that is required for the seed of love to bloom, for the perfecting process. Her having to face her relatives is a part of that perfecting process. The trials and these things, these paths, different things she'll come across that feel impossible, that she has to ask for help for, is a part of that perfecting process. So that is an important piece to keep in mind. And then the last piece, that, of course, is the companions' sorrow and suffering. And I think we can all understand Much Afraid's response to realizing that sorrow and suffering are the companions that he chose for her, and the confusion at how that could be the best choice, which she will not learn for quite a while, of why it's the best choice. But, that piece of the shepherd just asking her if she will trust him, and her trusting him, I think we can also relate to that a lot as well. And this is just the beginning of these themes with sorrow and suffering that we will see throughout the book. So that is my thoughts on chapter 4. And I hope you join for the next chapter as well.